Hello everyone, welcome to Learn with Healing Emotions. Today I will be covering the Unit 1, Part 5 in the syllabus. It is under the Section A and Segment 1, the subject psychology, and I am sharing the notes of the content also with you people. So we are starting psychoanalysis, the concept given by Sigmund Freud. Psychoanalysis and Sigmund Freud. Freud was a physician from Vienna, and his movement put forward views which were quite contrary to the previous schools of thoughts, that is, structuralism, functionalism, behaviorism, and Gestalt. Now, let's study the views under psychoanalysis. What we are going to study, under the head of psychoanalysis. First of all, we will learn what is unconsciousness, how much it influences the personality development of an individual. Then we will be studying psychoanalytic methods. That is, if there is any problem, if there is any disorder and therapy is required, then what sort of techniques Freud suggests to use to cure that disorder. Then structure of psych we will study, under which it, ego, superego, these three concepts come, and then in the last we will learn about psychosexual development stages of psychoanalysis that are given by Freud. He has divided these development stages into five. First is oral stage, anal stage, phallic stage, latency stage, and then genital stage. So let's start with unconsciousness. Uh, Look, Freud claimed that there is more to mental life than consciousness. The conscious part occupies only 1/10 portion of the total mental life. In fact, there is an even stronger and inaccessible force underlying behavior, that is unconscious. It contains all the repressed wishes, desires, feelings, drives, and motives, many of which relate to sex and aggression. This hidden treasure of the human mental life is responsible for most of one's behavior. The key to the solution of the most behavioral problem lies in bringing the unconscious to the conscious level. So what has he told about unconsciousness? We all know that our mind, our mental life is divided into three stages. That is unconscious, consciousness, and subconsciousness. Now, when we talk of, if we take it in a series, in a hierarchy, then first of all, consciousness will come. All that about which we are aware of, that comes under consciousness. Suppose if I ask what you are doing here right now, what is your name, what you are writing, all this will come under consciousness, about which any individual is 100% aware. Whenever that individual is asked about that portion of life about which he is conscious, he or she will tell it without any, without giving any strain to mind. They will be able to recall all that. Subconscious. Subconscious is a part of mental life about the things which we recall, but we have to make some effort while recalling them. Suppose if I ask what supper or what breakfast you had 2 days before, you'll say, okay, let me remember, let me think. Okay, and when you will make a rewind procedure to your memory, then you will be able to recollect the answer or response of that particular question. But what you are doing in subconscious, you are making some effort and then you are able to recall that particular incidents of your life. Now comes unconscious, about which we are unaware. Now, why we are unaware about this part of our life? Most of the time what happens when something pleasant, when something good happens to us, we start shouting, oh, I got 98%, I got 95%, I'm having a distinction in 5 subjects, मेरी शादी तय हो गई, मेरी जॉब लग गई. And we share this feeling with everyone. हम सबसे जाके ये फीलिंग को शेयर करते हैं. जो कुछ भी हमारे साथ बहुत अच्छा होता है, या हमें किसी ने पसंद कर लिया, हमें किसी ने प्रपोज कर लिया, और हमारी किसी ने तारीफ कर दी, ये सारी ऐसी चीज़ें हैं जिनको हम बहुत ज़्यादा एम्फोसाइज करके सबसे शेयर करते हैं. विल कॉल आवर फ्रेंड्स एंड देन वी विल शेयर आवर whatever memories with them. And but what happens when the memories are not good? The memories are not healthy. The events that are happening are not good for us. Do we share it with all? Suppose someone is failed, someone has got low percentages, और किसी फ्रेंड ने आपको छोड़ दिया, आपकी शादी टूट गई, आपकी जॉब छूट गई. Such type of negative incidences, do we share with everyone? No. We make a silence, and not just silence with the motive that we are not going to discuss it with anyone. We don't want to discuss it with ourselves also. We try to forget this thing that we have forget already, whatever was happened with us. So we try to forget the content. We try to forget this, that we have repressed something. We don't want to bring that back to our memory. This type of behavior leads to repression. जब भी ऐसा होता है कि कोई ऐसी मेमोरी होती है जो हम किसी से शेयर नहीं करते हैं, हमें लगता है किसी को पता ना चले, वो हमारे लिए गिल्ट अराउजिंग होती है, नेगेटिव फीलिंग अराउज करती है, तो हम उसको खुद के भी दिमाग में लाना नहीं चाहते. हम उसको चाहते हैं कि हम उसको सिरे से नकार दें, हम उसको भूल जाएं. और ऐसी मेमोरीज, क्योंकि ये बैड मेमोरीज होती हैं, नेगेटिव मेमोरीज होती हैं, एंड above all these are emotionally charged memories. So when we repress this, they remain active. How they remain active? क्योंकि देखो, अगर हम we are not having many things, we in our daily life we try to forget, and we forget also. Why? Because our charged emotions are not with that. लेकिन अगर कोई भी बात हमारी लाइफ में ऐसी है, ऐसी दुखद, ऐसी परेशानी भरी है, जो उन्हीं इमोशंस के साथ रिप्रेस हो गई है, तो ड्यू टू that memory is emotionally charged, that will remain active. And if it will remain active, always it will try to come into consciousness in one or another manner. हमेशा ये लगेगा कि पॉप अप हो रही है और हमारे कॉन्शियसनेस में आने की कोशिश करेगी, और जब भी ऐसा होगा तो we will have some problem. That problem may be in a symptom of anxiety, stress, neurotic disorder, कुछ भी हो सकता है. कन्वर्जन डिसऑर्डर, बहुत सारे डिसऑर्डर्स के बारे में बात की है फ्राइड ने. तो इन एनी फॉर्म दिस thing can be seen as a symptom. So the key to the solution of the most of the behavioral problem lies in bringing the unconscious to the conscious level. सबसे बड़ी बात है जो फ्राइड ने एक चीज कही है कि ज्यादातर हम जो चीजें रिप्रेस कर रहे हैं वो हमारी विशेष, डिजायर्स या रियल लाइफ इंसिडेंट्स भी हो सकता है. और ज्यादातर उन्होंने बताया है कि द मेमोरीज are related to sex and aggression. Most of the memories which are in our consciousness, which are emotionally charged, according to Freud, most of them are somewhere related to sex and aggression. Now, how we can cure this? How can we bring the solution to this problem? We can bring the solution to this problem by bringing this repressed material to the conscious level from the unconscious. Now this process is not very easy. Freud gave tremendous importance to the long forgotten or repressed childhood experiences for the determination of many problems of adult behavior. He has emphasized more on childhood experiences. He has given, much weightage on childhood. That whatever negative or positive things happens with us during our childhood, they are more important. They are very important in determination, in defining, in developing our personality. So he put forward an unusual method known as the psychoanalytic method for the solution of the behavioral problems. Now we will study what are these psychoanalytic methods. This method involves the process of analyzing the unconscious behavior. For this purpose, Freud advocated the following technique. First is free association, second is dream analysis, and third is analysis of the daily psychopathology. फ्री एसोसिएशन, देखिए सबसे पहले फ्री एसोसिएशन की बात करेंगे. Sometimes we play a game and we ask our friends ki whatever comes in your mind, whatever word comes at first instantly to your mind, tell that word. And when the other person or a friend tell that word, we used to analyze. Okay, this is going in your mind. In the same manner, Freud has developed free association. In this technique, the affected individual is made to lie on the couch and say anything that comes into his or her mind, no matter how ridiculous it is. And when the individual or a client is, saying this word, is telling this word, the psychologist used to observe the client's behavior very minute. अब जब वो वर्ड्स बता रहे हैं तो उसमें बहुत सारी चीजें ध्यान दी जाती हैं कि किस वर्ड पे उसने रिएक्शन टाइम कितना दिया, किस वर्ड पे उसने बोलने में ज्यादा टाइम लिया, किस वर्ड को बोलते समय वो इमोशनल हुआ, किन वर्ड्स को बोलते समय वो बिल्कुल रॉ था, कोई इमोशंस नहीं थे. All these things together somewhere help the psychologist in analyzing the problem of the client. By saying these words, हो सकता हो वो कुछ irrelevant बातें बोलने लगे, जैसे वो बोले कि actually I'm very bad husband, I never look after my wife, I don't care for her, and my mother used to over pamper me, and my mother used to give me daily spinach or whatever. These things are not interrelated. The things are whatever the client is saying, all that is totally unrelated from one another. But from here only the psychologist pick the meaning. The psychologist's work is here not to reframe the story, not to reframe the words which the client is saying. His main focus is on providing the insight to client to go to that repressed unconscious material, because till that unconscious material will not come to consciousness with the relieving of emotions, with the discharging of emotions which was repressed with particularly that incidents, one cannot get relief. तो बहुत ज़रूरी है उस बात का बाहर आना, कॉन्शियसनेस में आना, जो उसे परेशान कर रही है, जिसकी वजह से उसको सिम्टम्स आ रहे हैं, जिसकी वजह से उसको डिसऑर्डर है, और वो बात का उन इमोशंस के साथ, उन इमोशंस का रिलीव होना बहुत ज़रूरी है, जो इमोशंस भी उस बात के साथ बन रहे. जब तक इमोशंस नहीं रिलीव होंगे, just only the intellectual realization of the incidents is not going to cure the patient. Now we come to dream analysis. As it is said, dreams are royal road to unconsciousness. Whatever we have in our unconsciousness, it is said, we see in our dream. This is the analysis used by Freud in psychoanalytic method to recover the repressed or unconscious material, and he used to make dream interpretations. He asks the client to tell the dream they see while sleeping in a detail, and then he used to interpret the meaning of those dreams, and somehow he tries to relate those dream with the unconscious material, unconscious incidences, and try to give relief to patient or try to give therapy. Then is analysis of the daily psychopathology. The repressed desires or experiences lying in the unconscious can also be revealed through day-to-day psychopathology in terms of the slips of tongue and slips of the pen, forgotten names and forgotten appointments, lost gifts and mislaid professions. We all say that nothing happens by chance. Everything has its meaning. On this principle only, Freud has developed to analyze the slip of tongue and slip of pen. होता है बोलते बोलते हम एकदम से entirely different चीज बोल जाते हैं जिसकी वहां पर कोई relevance नहीं होती है. तो इस तरह की बातों के लिए फ्राइड ने कहा कि इस तरह के जो चीजें हैं जहाँ स्लिप ऑफ टंग हो रही है, स्लिप ऑफ पेन हो रहा है, वहां पर हमें बहुत ध्यान देना चाहिए और हमको ये सोचना चाहिए कि ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है. Why this word only? Why this thing only? Why this sentence only? मे बी कि उसका ये जो स्लिप ऑफ टंग है या ये जो स्लिप ऑफ पेन है ये हमको रियल रीजन उसकी जो प्रॉब्लम है वहां तक पहुंचाते हैं. Now coming to the structure of psyche. The structure of psyche is a personality theory wherein Freud gave three systems under the theory which contribute to one's personality: the id, the ego, and the superego. Now we will understand what id actually is. It is based on pleasure principle, and it is active when the child is born during infancy, when he is not aware of whatever things are available in reality and what things are not available in reality. Then the behavior is somewhere determined by it. जैसे कि कोई बच्चा, some child or someone says that I need a moon, चांद चाहिए मुझे मेरे हाथों. Beside this, it is not possible, it is not available in reality, it is not possible in reality कि चांद को हम हाथ में लाके दें. तो उसे ये काम अच्छा लगेगा, वो उसे प्लेजर प्रोवाइड करेगा, सिर्फ उसे प्लेजर मिलेगा, इसलिए वो ये डिमांड रख रहा है. तो इट इज प्योरली अ डिमांड विच इज हैविंग नो कनेक्शन विद रियलिटी. Whereas when it comes to ego, it develops out of the id and it is somewhere related with reality. It decides that whatever is asked, whatever behavior you are going to do, whether in reality that is possible or not, in reality that is available or not. So ego is basically it is reality based, and it works as an intermediary between three sets of force, that is instinctual demand of the realities of the external world and ethical moral demands of the superego. Now coming to the superego, it's the ethical moral aspect of the psyche. It is idealistic and does not care for realities. Perfection is its goal rather than pleasure seeking or distraction. सुपर ईगो को सिर्फ इससे मतलब है what is right and what is wrong, what is ethical and what is not ethical, whatever you are doing, is that just thing or it is a unjust. So it decides whatever you are going to do is ethically good or ethically bad. On the basis of this, an individual decides whether particular individual should do that particular behavior or he should withhold that behavior. जैसे मान लीजिए आपके क्लास में टीचर है, वहां आपका डांस करने का मन हो. In reality you can dance, that is available, but is it ethical to dance in a classroom while the teacher is teaching? No, it's not ethical. So this will be decided by superego. So I guess now three things are clear to you: id, ego, superego. और ये बचपन से लेके probably 6 years तक इनका डेवलपमेंट हो जाता है तीनों का. सबसे पहले id डेवलप होता है, फिर out of it ego develops and then superego develops. And all the behavior according to Freud can be understood in terms of dynamic equilibrium between id, ego and superego. The id demands to satisfy its needs and appetites while the ego tries both to control the it in terms of reality and to appease the superego. The well-adjusted person is governed by his ego. The anxious neurotic by guilt is stemming from his superego, and the psychopath by his it. So it is clear there should be equilibrium between three. If it will dominate a person, definitely the person will come under category of psychopath. And if there will be equilibrium between three, id, ego and superego, then the personality development will be very balanced and fine. So the aim of psychoanalysis is to restore the balance. Probably Freud has explained this कि where id was there shall ego be. अगर id है तो ego जरूर होना चाहिए, जिससे आपको ये एहसास हो कि whatever I am asking for, whatever my demand is that possible in reality? Okay. Now, fourth part of the section deals with psychosexual development. According to the Freud, sex is the life urge or fundamental motive in life. All physical pleasures arising from any of the organs or any of the functions are ultimately sexual in nature. Sexuality is not the characteristic of only the grown-up. Children from the very beginning also have sexual desires. This he termed infantile sexuality. During the 5-6 psychosexual stages, which are oral, anal, phallic, latent, and genital stages, the erogenous zone associated with each stage serves as a source of pleasure. The psychosexual energy or libido was described as the driving force behind behavior. More emphasis by Freud was given on sex and aggression, as we had studied earlier. And in his 5 psychosexual stages, in every stage he associated with some erogenous zone. एक ऐसा zone बच्चे की body का जिसका maximum use वो बच्चा उस particular age में करता है, और उसका use करने से उस पे focus करने से उसको pleasure मिलता है, उसको अच्छा लगता है. Or whatever behavior the child do or an individual do, that is somewhere that is called psychosexual energy, or Freud named it libido. So this libido is a term which he described as a driving force behind any behavior. According to Freud, children develop through a series of psychosexual stages. At each stage, the libido is focused on a specific area. When handled successfully, the child moves to the next stage of the development and eventually grows into a healthy, successful adult. In some cases, the focus of a person's libido energy may remain fixed at an earlier stage of the development in any particular state, what Freud referred to as fixation. कभी कभी होता है कि हम अपनी फर्स्ट स्टेज, सेकंड स्टेज, थर्ड स्टेज, फोर्थ स्टेज और फिफ्थ स्टेज पे तो पहुंच जाते हैं, लेकिन हमारा जो हमारी लिबिडो एनर्जी है, जो लिबिडोनल एनर्जी है, वो किसी एक पर्टिकुलर स्टेज पे ही रुक जाती है. वहीं पर, क्योंकि वहां पर हमारा प्रॉपर जो हमारा सेटिस्फैक्शन नहीं हो पाता है उस एनर्जी का, वो ठीक से यूज नहीं हो पाती है, इसलिए वो वहीं पर रुक जाती है, और जिसका असर हमारे फ्यूचर की पर्सनालिटी पे पड़ता है. और फ्राइड हैज रिफर्ड दिस टर्म एज अ फिक्सेशन. So a child passes through the following different stages to his psychosexual development. Stage 1 is oral stage, which start from 0 to 12 months. There may be some variations in different books when you will go to different reference books, but I will ask you to focus on your reference book, because in few books it is given ki 0 to 1.5 year, in few books it is given to 0 to 12 months. So whatever book is referred to you from the college or from ICSE, you better focus on that and you refer that book only for this, developmental ages and stages. So the oral stage, which lasts from 0 to 12 months, माउथ इज द फर्स्ट सेक्स ऑर्गन फॉर प्रोवाइडिंग प्लेजर टू द चाइल्ड। देखते होंगे आप छोटे बच्चे को जो कुछ भी मिलता है वो अपने मुंह में डाल लेता है, इसीलिए शायद उसको अकेले नहीं छोड़ा जाता है कि अगर उसको कोई फियर नहीं होता है, अगर इंसेक्ट लिजार्ड कुछ भी उसके पास आएगी तो वो डायरेक्टली उसको मुंह में डालेगा, क्योंकि मुंह उसका माउथ इज द एरोजेनस जोन ऑफ दैट चाइल्ड ड्यूरिंग 0 to 12 months. Now he feel pleasure from breastfeeding, bottle feeding, later on candy, etc. And if the things are feeding or um, orally, whatever pleasure that child is seeking, if it is, if the child is not satisfied with that, then fixation may occur, जिसका फ्यूचर में हमें दिखाई पड़ सकता है कि वो स्मोक ज़्यादा करे या कॉलर काटे या कोई भी चीज़ मिलती है तो बड़े लोगों को हम देखते हैं एडल्ट्स को वो मुंह में डाल लेते हैं, तो दिस इज द रिजल्ट ऑफ फिक्सेशन एट ओरल स्टेज. Now coming to the second stage, that is anal stage, which start from 2 years to 3 years. Interest shift from mouth to organs of elimination, anus and urethra. Derives pleasure from holding back or letting go of body's waste material. We see this is the year 2 years to 3 years when parents start the toilet training of their child. And initially what happened कि वो जो बच्चा है वो कहीं भी defecate कर देता है, कहीं भी urination कर देता है. Now what he is told by parents, no, don't pass urine here. You go to toilet, you use the bathroom, washrooms for this purpose. So now child, what happens? Socialization is started. बच्चे को सोशलाइज किया जा रहा है, उसको डिसिप्लिन बताया जा रहा है, उसे रूल्स रेगुलेशंस बताया जा रहा है, एंड रिएक्शंस में आल्सो कम फ्रॉम दिस बिकॉज फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम ही और शी फील्स कि अच्छा यू आर टेलिंग मी व्हाट टू डू एंड हाउ टू डू. तो सम children take it as a disciplined manner, whatever parents ask for they do it, but some, in few cases, dirty anger is seen, dirty anger toward parents. अच्छा you are saying this to me, you are telling this to me. होता है टोका टाकी जब करो बच्चों को तो उन्हें खराब लगता है, तो कहीं पर ये भी हो सकता है जिसके रिजल्ट्स दोनों तरह के हो सकते हैं. If the child is whatever you are asking for, the child is doing it in a very disciplined manner, so he or she will be disciplined in future. And if that anger, to which we call dirty anger, is there, it is accumulating there, then it may take some, it may inculcate some negative traits in the child. थोड़ा रिवोल्टिंग हो सकता है वो आपकी बात ना माने और आप जो कहें वो ऐसा ना करें. तो both the responses can come from the child during this. So all these things which we are saying कि सोशलाइजेशन करना चाहिए, टॉयलेट ट्रेनिंग करनी चाहिए, पेरेंट्स की ओर से बहुत ही cautiously इस काम को करना चाहिए, so that the dirty anger is not accumulated in the child. Third stage comes the phallic stage, 3 years to 5 years. Focus of pleasure shift to genitals. At this stage, children come to know the biological differences between the sexes and derive pleasure by playing and manipulating the genital organs. Pleasure. This stage, according to Freud, may give birth to a number of complexes like deprivation and electrocomplexes in girls, and castration and Oedipus complexes in boys. Deprivation complex is the result of the feeling generated into the minds of the little girls that they have been deprived of the male organ by their mothers. It is also known as penis envy. अगर हम बात करेंगे इन कॉम्प्लेक्सेस की, क्योंकि द फोकस इज ऑन जेनिटल्स. So now a girl may feel that why I'm not having those male parts, I'm not having those male organs which the boys are having, and boys may think vice versa. So this feeling may somewhere create dissatisfaction. And then one more thing is found in this, that in electro complex, girls mostly have attraction towards their father, and in Oedipus complex, the boys or a male child has fascination or attraction towards mother. But along with the fear, this won't happen with everyone. Don't correlate it happens with 100% of population, but according to Freud, with most of the children, with most of the individuals, it happens in phallic stage. Uh, and in Electra complexes, females are attracted towards their fathers, and in Oedipus complex, mothers, sons are attracted towards their mothers. Castration complex is generated in boys through the fear of being deprived of the male organs, certainly as a result of the threat received from the elders in the form of cutting. Because they think that if I am going to do such things, if my feelings towards my mother will reveal, someone will come to know, then I will be punished, and punishment will be through castration. So this feeling in a male in a male boy somewhere create different problems or abnormalities, because he may feel guilt that what I'm thinking, and if others will come to know about my this feeling, what will happen. So such type of fear somewhere contribute in the development of individual, and if these things are not managed in a very well mannered, then they may create problem in future also. Same with electra phases, electra complexes, which is found among girls. Of the organ, if they did not leave the habit of playing with it, about Oedipus and Electra phases, Freud says that they are the result of sexual attraction or pleasure the children receive in the company of the opposite sex parents. In case the uh, like sex parent frustrates the desire, expresses his or her resentment, and is not friendly to the boy or girl, the child may be likely to develop Oedipus and Electra complex by loving more the opposite sex parents and rather hating the like sex parent. So now I think it is clear to you all. Now we will discuss about fourth stage, that is latency stage. From 5 to 12 years, children have repressed sexual desires. They like to play with children of the same gender. They neglect or hate members of opposite sex. This is the age when we see our inclination of a child is towards the same sex. And this is the period when a child is trying to manage his or her Oedipus and Electra complexes, because the child knows that these feelings are guilt arousing, and if someone will come to know about it, they may face dangerous consequences. So this is the age when they try to repress their sexual desires, fantasies which are not appropriate in the society, and they like to play with children of the same gender, and they somewhere they have negligence and hatred towards the children of opposite sex. Then comes the last stage, that is genital stage, which is called puberty, and it lasts from puberty, it lasts to adulthood. The adolescent boys and girls feel a strong feeling of sensation in genitals and attraction towards the opposite sex. They may seek pleasure by self-stimulation of the genitals, fall in love with one's own body, take care of their bodies, they beautify it, attract towards members of opposite sex, and indulge in sex relations also. This is the age when they try to understand what physiological changes are going inside them, why what changes girls are feeling, what changes boys are feeling, and whatever fantasies, desires, wishes, guilt they were having in childhood, the fascination or attraction they have towards their parents of opposite sex, they try to manage all that in this year, and as a result they are attracted towards the opposite sex people. वो फ्रेंड्स बनाते हैं, वो गर्लफ्रेंड्स बनाते हैं, वो बॉयफ्रेंड्स बनाते हैं, वो दूसरे जेंडर के लोगों में इंटरेस्ट लेना शुरू करते हैं, और इस प्रोसेस में वो अपनी उनका एक फैसिनेशन हो जाता है, एक अट्रैक्शन, एक लाइकनेस हो जाती है अपनी खुद की बॉडी के लिए, कि हमें इसको ठीक से रखना है, हमें सुंदर दिखना है, हमें अच्छा दिखना है, अट्रैक्टिव दिखना है, जिससे लोग हमें पसंद करें। लोगों को दिखाने के लिए वो अपने आप को बहुत खूबसूरती से और बहुत अच्छे से रखते हैं। तो ये वो एज है जो वॉट एवर थिंग्स आर नॉट मैनेज्ड इन फर्स्ट 4 stages, whatever wishes, whatever desires which are not appropriate for the society, they were guilt arousing, all that are managed with an individual or a child in this age. This is the reason this age is called the age of storm, or बहुत सारे physiological or psychological changes a child faces in this age, in this stage, and which is this is very crucial stage. If the things are not dealt properly in this stage, then they may create problem in future. With this, we finish with Unit 1. Thanks for watching. If you have any doubts in Part 1, you can ask in the comment section or simply DM me on my Instagram handle at @healingemotions.ahds. Do like, share and subscribe my channel. I will be covering more topics in my upcoming videos. The next video will be covering Unit 2, which is Field of Psychology in segment, the subject of psychology in Section A. Till then, stay tuned. Okay, bye-bye.